Hi, it's Dan. As you can probably guess by the upload dates, the Sonic Hustle has had a very slow, development time. We record weeks and weeks apart, mostly because, I tend to put off editing for a very long time. I have other priorities such as, job finding and Pot of Greed. So, to get to the point, the news segment in this episode is outdated. It's from like a month ago. We recorded this a month ago, and we're talking about news stories from a month ago. Still, it's, some fun listening, so I do recommend giving a listen anyways. Just keep in mind, it's old news. Hello, and welcome back to the Sonic Hustle, a complete and total Sonic lore podcast. I am the teacher, Dan.
I'm one of the students, Morg.
And I'm the other student, Devon.
And this week we're talking about Sonic Advance. Sonic Advance doesn't have too much to talk about, so we'll also be talking about some news and reading a bunch of, questions that got sent in. Let's start with the news. So, this year has been declared the year of Shadow the Hedgehog.
You're goddamn right it is.
Yeah.
Shadow supremacy is here.
Do we think they're gonna try to make more than one Shadow year? Because they did that for Luigi. They did like 2 years in a row or whatever.
I think it's gonna be the next 666 years.
Ah.
It's going to be for the next year. The year of Luigi was 1 year officially, if not in spirit. But
the people loved it so much they extended it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. For many, the year of Luigi never truly ended. Even though that was like 11 years ago now that I think about it. They're doing stuff with Shadow this year. I can't remember, was last year or the year before they wanted to do like a themed year. They've tried it a couple times and, it just basically means they're gonna do a couple things with the character, but it's always funny to say that, so I think it works regardless. So far, they have released, as we know, Sonic X Shadow Generation is coming out later this year. They released a little video about, a teenage girl riding a bike and thinking about Shadow the Hedgehog.
Wow.
Yeah, that
just
was
like
me.
Me for real.
Mm-hmm. They have made a custom Shadow the Hedgehog bike. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm just gonna go ahead and read their official blurb. It's the year of Shadow, so we are bringing a custom Shadow-inspired motorcycle to life, and we're taking it on tour. First stop, the MotoGP Red Bull Grand Prix of the Americas in Austin, Texas, from April 12th to the 14th. Come along and get acquainted with the Shadow motorcycle IRL. Check this link to head to the MotoGP tour site to get your tickets and watch the fastest riders on two wheels in a high-stakes battle of skill and speed. That's great.
I love that because it's, like, so sterile corporate speak. Come on, it's the year of Shadow. Fucking amp that motorcycle up.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about how many cops you can kill while riding it.
It's one of the things that I found, one of the strange things about a lot of Sega advertising projects, which is it's a very specific thing.
Yeah.
They made a bike, like, and Sega's always had weird advertisements. How video games as a whole just have weird advertising. The 90s and the 2000s had the Play It Loud era, fucking Korn saying that gaming for me is a religion and Haze is the shit.
And Haze is the shit?
Yes, this is something that was like printed in magazine ads, for the video game Haze. It was like Korn, the band Korn with a K, just like posing, and they've got like stuff for the 2008 video game Haze, and there's a quote, "Gaming for me is a religion, and Haze is the shit."
God.
Yeah, there was the era of Nintendo where it would just get like random high-class celebrities to be playing the Nintendo 3DS and pretending like they're having a great time.
There's the fucking Rayman. There's the Rayman ad where he's pissing and they're implying he has a huge cock.
Oh, I love that era.
Yeah.
Where that was the like Ratchet and Clank era where all the games were named something that if you were like above the age of 12, you could go, that's probably about a dick.
Yeah.
I think one was called Up Your Arsenal.
I wonder if Rayman, if like his dick is like this.
Is it disconnected from his body?
Yeah. Yeah, is it like his arms and legs?
Is it free floating?
I think it is. I think it is. I think it's detachable. So what the fuck was I saying? Right. And the specific Shadow the Hedgehog thing that comes to mind for me is that statue they made for the 2005 video game Shadow the Hedgehog that was shown at like E3 or what have you. That was just like Shadow pointing a gun and someone taking a photo of themselves, fucking kneeling in front of it like they're about to get executed by him.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was real.
That was a real statue.
And that was really Shadow about to kill that guy.
Yeah.
Some other things, they are of course, releasing I think I might have mentioned this, but I'm not sure. There's like a Shadow the Hedgehog, Lego set coming out. It's just like the figure with like, the motorcycle and a little like, I think it's like a gas pump or charging station or something, for it to sit in. Of course there's oh, I see. I'm looking at this now. It is specifically, this advertising is specifically using, like, the branding of Fearless, Year of Shadow. But there's, of course, the mobile game. There's like a bunch of different things. They're doing the Symphony again. That fucking kicked ass, so I'm down for that.
Yeah, that ruled.
That's cool. Did
oh
they have it recorded somewhere?
I think it is up on, I think there was like a live broadcast version that's on YouTube. That was pretty fun just cause like, there were like a couple different sections. There was like an orchestral section. There were medleys. Johnny Gioeli coming on like fucking voice cam to, sing all the, Crush 40 hits. But I'm looking through more of this stuff, and here's something I didn't realize, which is, they're working on a Sonic Speed Cafe. Is this like a pop-up cafe? I don't know if this is a permanent thing or a pop-up thing. It's definitely not a Japanese pop-up thing. It looks like it's, in Chino Hills, California, and they might be opening up a few more locations. The website has just a bunch of the merch that comes there. There's some nice t-shirts here. Like, I will say they are great t-shirts. There's like a Chow Black Market t-shirt. It's good stuff. SonicSpeedCafe.com. Look it up.
I like Black Market Chow. I don't know.
Yeah. It's the Chow Black Market from Sonic Adventure 2. But I think that's... Oh! I almost forgot the biggest Shadow the Hedgehog news to come out recently, which is, as far as I can tell, this is 100% official. Keanu Reeves will be playing the role of Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 coming out this holiday season. Honestly, I'm into it. There's a bunch of different references to Keanu and the Matrix and all that stuff in 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure the canonical last name of Sonic's family, Sonic's human family, are the Wachowskis.
I didn't even remember that. That's funny.
Sonic is a fan of Keanu Reeves because he watched them watching Keanu Reeves movies through a window.
Wait, that's gonna be weird. I did not remember that. So he's gonna be Shadow sounds like my favorite guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that movie being like, "Hey Shadow, why do you sound like Keanu Reeves?
Shadow, why are you so cool?
Shadow, I'm kind of attracted to you.
You're so cool, but you've chosen to be my enemy, and I don't like that, or whatever."
I don't like that Keanu Reeves is calling me a faker.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Shadow the Hedgehog to once again get a real life gun, and then immediately start doing John Wick things with it.
I've said before, I don't think they're ever going to give him a gun again. I really hope they give him a gun.
I really do. Do you think they'll show restraint and not have him while the gun agents are shooting at him do the Matrix bullet time dodge?
I think there's going to be some bullet time. I don't know if it'll manifest that way. Maybe.
I'm putting my money as they have him do the bullet time dodge and Sonic makes a pithy remark about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's gonna be like, is he allowed to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, oh shit. I mean, yeah, he does all that Speed Force stuff in the first two movies, so...
I know!
Why not?
For real, yeah.
In other, I think that's all the Shadow news I can find right now.
More forthcoming, hopefully.
More forthcoming. God, I hope so.
Yeah, God, I hope whoever they cast as Maria is so funny.
What if they
just person you can imagine cast as Maria?
What if they just cut out Maria fully? Because I feel like
they can't.
I
don't want them to.
They simplified a lot of other stuff, so I wasn't sure.
I need them to cast Maria.
It feels kind of insane to take
it feels
her
critical,
out. Yeah.
Considering that's his whole deal.
Yeah, but
I'm sure Maria's going to be in it, but my gut assumption is they're probably not going to get anyone big.
I hope it's Jojo Siwa.
What else? So
Maria.
Now I'm just fucking thinking about
Maria.
What if they I'm thinking about how in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow connects with Amy because she reminds him of Maria because she's a girl.
There's not even an Amy yet in Sonic.
Yeah. And
I know.
In the movie.
Yeah. In the Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation of Sonic X, Chris takes up that role because he's a human boy.
That makes more fucking sense.
Yeah, and it takes up that role in such a way that Shadow actively sees him as Maria at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that's incredible.
Yeah. So
he's like, what if you had blonde hair and like a dress?
So I do wonder if like who's gonna be taking up that role when Shadow inevitably needs to be reminded of Maria as a reason to be a good person.
It's gonna be Cop Father, isn't it?
It could be Wade. It could be one of the other Wachowskis. It could be Tails.
Do you think they're gonna like introduce like a new kid who goes to like the same school that Sonic is dubiously attending now? And it's gonna be like, oh, you remind me of Maria.
I forgot he was attending school. Fuck.
I don't think he attends school. I think they're going to introduce the fact that he attends school in like the third movie for this bit.
Then why did I imagine that he... Okay, I'm losing it. Sorry. I'm losing my
it's because it's so obvious that you're starting to manifest it in your mind.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that does remind me. There is, I can only think of like one time across the entirety of any Sonic thing that exists where Sonic goes to school.
You would think as like a teenage boy, like at a certain point, he'd be forced into it at some point.
Sonic is supposed to be like the coolest thing a small child could imagine and want in his life. And going to regular school is not something that like cool kids want to do. The idea that you just don't have to and you're already just cool enough and smart enough is what a cool kid would want.
Yeah.
Sure, but like...
I don't have to sit in class. I get to go run around and have adventures with my cool fox friend who's a little bit stupid.
Sure, but if they're like... Also, it's funny because Tails is like, sometimes Tails is really dumb, and sometimes...
I know.
He's really smart, but...
Early Tails is like is dumb in the sense that he's supposed to be that younger kid who you get to hang out with and tell what to do.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like some people would want to be like, oh, well, it's cool to stay in school, you know?
Yeah. What the fuck was I thinking about? Right, I remember what I was thinking about, but I think I can move on. We've got two other pieces of news. One, pretty quick, I don't really know enough about it to elaborate on, but like Sonic Dream Team, which is the iOS game that came out recently that is in fact a 3D Sonic platformer. That's getting an update with like new characters and levels. So that's nice. I don't know enough about it to, yeah. Oh, it looks like for a second I thought I saw, okay, yeah, I'm looking it up now. We've got, it looks like they're adding like Cream and Rouge the Bat. I think before it was just like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy. So that's nice.
Is that something we're gonna like cover at any point?
I mean, we could. It's not like on the list of things I want to specifically cover, but like once we're through all of that, or we need like a reprieve from whatever we're covering, we could probably dedicate some time to that, the Dream Team.
I just didn't know if there was like plot.
I think there is a plot, but I don't think it's like super plot heavy.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I'm looking this up. It's got like an animated intro. It's a pretty nice intro too.
Oh, hell yeah.
But, moving on, in other news, now we move on to the other big news topic I wanted to bring up, which is, Sonic X IHOP collab. Sonic the Hedgehog is doing a vaguely themed collab with IHOP, where, fucking They have a custom menu, which is to say they have what looks like a pretty standard selection of items, with a pretty standard collection of items that they've given a Sonic name to. We've got blueberry pancakes, we've got the 2x2x2, we've got Eggs Benedict, we've got Knuckles chicken sandwich, we've got Shadow's chocolate pancakes.
Knuckles sandwich. They should have just called it a Knuckles sandwich.
There's another one that
Do we think Shadow has a sweet tooth?
No, but they're probably chocolate because he's the black one and blueberry because he's the blue one, you know.
Yeah, I
don't think Shadow has a sweet tooth.
No, I remember like a thing that they keep bringing up in Twitter takeovers is that Shadow the Hedgehog really likes coffee beans, just eating the beans themselves.
What?
You see, I think Shadow is the kind of freak who loves extremely bitter things.
Mm-hmm. He loves bitter.
I mean, I like chocolate-covered coffee beans, but
yeah.
I don't think I could just eat.
You know what? He would like chocolate, but it's like pure cocoa beans.
Oh yeah, he likes
like
real
the
bitter,
most
dark
bitter
chocolate.
fucking thing you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he bitter like my soul. Like, shut up, Shadow. Fuck you.
This dark chocolate is very bitter, like my soul, and it's rich in antioxidants, like my blood.
So true, man.
Every time he does that, Rouge the Bat posts yet another movie that Shadow has cried during. She has like a running list going.
She takes a picture of him like crying at some point, and she's like,
she's
"See, I'm not bullshitting."
Ratatouille.
Yeah, just he's just bawling his eyes out at any given dead dog movie, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shadow is the kind of guy who does go see those those yearly dog movies that come out like every single year.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Those make you feel near the holidays, dog movies where it's like the dog reincarnated and lost his family. Oh, it's so sad. He cries at all of those every single time.
He cries at A Dog's Purpose or whatever.
He does cry at A Dog's Purpose number 7.
Oh god, how many are there?
I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah, that feels like some direct-to-video type of stuff where nobody really knows.
He cries at that, and he has seen every God's Not Dead movie.
Why? Why would you say that?
He thinks they're funny.
I mean, he's kind of right, but they're kind of... I feel like they're hard for me to, watch.
He thinks they're hilarious.
The heck was I thinking?
They're like a little pick-me-up after watching the Dog's Purpose movie.
He's like, I'm not crying at the Dog's Purpose because of the god shit. I'm crying because of the dying dogs.
Shadow has watched every single Alpha and Omega film.
Oh my god!
As they decreasingly become describable as a film.
How many?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm now going to look up how many Alpha and Omega films are out there.
I think it's 7. They stopped eventually.
What?
I thought there was 2!
It's a dark world when I typed this in and it just popped up film series.
I thought at least it didn't pop up Omegaverse, I guess.
Okay, there are 8. Just to be clear.
8?
Just to be clear, only the first one came out in theaters. Every other Alpha and Omega film is a direct-to-DVD pile of garbage. I think the later ones are actually...
movie collection.
I think the later ones are direct-to-streaming because of the natural process of time.
I hate looking at these wolves.
Oh, and they also become increasingly lower effort and worse to look at.
They are vile. They are
so
vile creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Frequently bought together is all 4 open season movies.
Uh-huh.
What
Yeah.
detached grandparent is torturing their grandchild with these?
Much to ask.
This is like something people watch for like their podcasts, like series on like bad movies.
Yeah, bad animated movies that for some reason went on like a little too long.
Yeah, these are exclusively the domain of bad animation freaks. They have after the first movie, the main couple have 3 kids named Runt, Stinky, and Claudette.
Wow, there's 8 of them in 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up something real quick.
And I wonder they're such bad fucking quality. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Air Buddies series.
Mm-hmm.
So there are more Alpha and Omega movies than there are the spin-off movies of Air Bud, the Air Buddies, which are his kids.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There are more Alpha and Omega movies than that. And those movies, there are a lot of those movies. There's like 7 of those bad boys. Anyways, Shadow has seen all of these and he's cried at each and every one of them.
Mm-hmm. So Sonic the Hedgehog and IHOP. The menu, I pretty much went over the whole thing. I will also note there is like one, if you like look it up, there's gonna be one item you might not see because I think it's not for delivery. It's cause it's got like a scoop of ice cream in it, but that one's Amy themed. I think also the scoop of ice cream is like an original part of that menu item. If you want, that's the surface. There's a second level to it that's very interesting to me, which are pan coins. Part of this deal is, it's also meant to promote their, IHOP's pan coin program. So, if you're familiar with the modern scene of, chain restaurants, you're aware that, they usually have apps that have, that let you get them for a more reasonable price, and also, we might have like some like bonus point system, where the more you go there, the more points you use the points for free stuff. Of course, the pan coins, of course, are, it's the usual sort of thing. You spend $5, you get a coin, you can redeem the coin for some free pancakes. But, they added like an extra thing where, if you get enough, you can like get stuff that's like Sonic themed. So, specifically, there's like free DLC for, Sonic, Superstars. You get to give like Amy a little waitress dress. Based on like, the IHOP waitress uniform. The other thing is really interesting to me because, the other thing is, these are high tier rewards that get you free Sonic games. They are codes you can redeem on, console stores to, get, sort of like the current, like, selection of this gen Sonic games. So you've got Sonic Origins, you've got Sonic Superstars, and Sonic Frontiers. Origins is $40, Frontiers and Superstars are $60. No Steam. You can't get these on Steam or any other PC platform. Presumably because those actually go on sale more. If you get, I don't have the menu thing up right now, and I don't feel like looking it up, but, basically, if you spend it's like $150 worth of, coins, I can't remember if it's 150 or 2 to 200 or 200 to 250, but the lower tier, which is more than double of the asking price for the game itself, that'll get you Sonic Origins, and the higher tier will get you a free copy of one of the $60 games. I don't think it's a good deal at all, but it's a deeply fascinating offer.
Yeah.
It's fascinating in the sense that they thought this would be good.
It's,
you know?
I'm fascinated by the idea. Would jump at this. I'm fascinated at the idea of getting a free $60 video game in exchange for $250 worth of breakfast food.
Right.
It's that thing, in the Shrieking Shack when they were talking about the subscription service, where a lot of it was like, please pay us like $80 a year for maybe $5 off like a promotional item. And it's like, you can't trick me.
Yeah.
You can't trick me. I know I'm still spending $250.
Yeah.
That video game now just became $250.
I would argue it's a little bit of a better deal because you're getting presumably several meals out of it. Probably a couple days worth of food out of it.
It's like IHOP food.
That's kind of the rub. It's
also, you have to spend so much money to get $250 worth of IHOP breakfast food?
Yeah, Jesus. Because it's not that expensive. I mean, I guess if you keep going, like, if you just go to IHOP.
Yeah, and I guess if you, like, maybe convince your friends to go with you.
Yeah, you fucking go to IHOP, you get breakfast there every day for, like, let me see, 250, that's about 2 weeks, give or take.
Yeah.
You get a video game. That's wild.
That feels like the plot of like a regular show episode.
What it reminds me of, it specifically reminds me of like this radio ad I heard a lot as a kid, for some coupon system where they were basically using that as an example of, this would be a really bad deal for like a coupon thing. Here's our good deal. It probably wasn't that good of a deal, but it's so funny to think about. Anyways.
Yeah, I would love to be in like the marketing or the boardroom when they were making that deal. And just to be the like defeated employees sitting there like, yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Fucking.
Yeah, it's great.
Fucking, you try to raise an objection and some fucking dude in a suit gives you a death glare. That's incredible.
Just like staring at the ceiling, just like, yeah, no, sounds great.
Yeah. So.
Sounds good, man.
We move on to our main feature for this week, Sonic Advance. So, Sonic Advance, when I said that Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was the first Sonic game to be released on a Nintendo console, that was a half-truth, because on the same day, they released Sonic Advance 1. Sonic Advance 1 is honestly pretty decent. It's a 2D platformer. It's sort of meant to be like a hybrid of the classic 2D Sonic games and like the more modern stuff they had established at the time. You know, what was going on with Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. It was developed by Dimps, I believe, who have been involved. Who I think this was their first like project with Sonic Team, and they've sort of been like a presence throughout like a lot of like Sonic games throughout the 2000s and 2010s. I don't believe they're still working on Sonic games right now, but they were for a while, and they gained a bit of infamy because they sometimes have very unfair level design. This game, was, you can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, which I think this is like the first time you can play as Amy in a Sonic platformer. So that's neat. A notable thing is, they've got, all of the characters have like, a melee attack, like a basic melee attack. You can like press B with them and they'll do like an extra thing. A lot of them have like a little extra moves you can do in addition to the stuff from the earlier games. Amy Rose is interesting because, she can't do a spin dash, but she gets like a whole bunch of like special moves that, can do like attacks. She can like do one that makes her jump higher, one that makes her jump further. But she can't spin dash, so you've gotta like, learn a new moveset essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's, about, I think there's 7 stages, and you go around, you platform, you collect Chaos Emeralds, and, when you get all 7, you can do, like, the final 7th stage, as Sonic turning into Super Sonic. Our first stage is Neo Green Hill Zone. It's Green Hill Zone, but it's more of like a beachy thing. They're kind of going for like, the, first stage from Sonic Adventure almost. One thing I will say about these games is they do some really nice sprite work. There's like,
I was gonna say.
Yeah, they look really nice.
Yeah, they're really pretty to look at. And these sprites, are especially useful because they become like a staple of 2D Sonic games, throughout the 2000s. I think they use them, let's see, they use them in 2, 3, they're used in the other Game Boy Advance Sonic games, which is handy. They look good. I'm always a fan of like, well implemented asset reuse. There is one aesthetic drawback, which is these are on the Game Boy Advance, so it all sounds all the music sounds kind of tinny. Like, it's not bad music, but like, it's very limited by what it's on.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like the system it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it kind of, I mean, I'm a little bit nostalgic for that system too, though.
Yeah. It's not that bad. You gotta get used to it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, as someone who listens to the, Gen 3 Pokemon soundtrack a lot, I get it.
Yeah. The horn-heavy Gen 3 Pokemon soundtrack.
Yes.
The horns with that little tin through them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neo Green Hill Zone, not much to say about it other than that it's green. It's got a beach, it's Green Hill Zone. The boss is...
Sonic is running, he's ducking, weaving.
Yeah, the boss is, it's, Dr. Robotnik in like a hammer. We're going back to like, the fucking, moddable egg pod thing.
This is a great version of Dr. Eggman because it feels like he sees Sonic and the first thought that comes to his mind is what he bases his robot
Yeah,
on.
I love...
Yeah.
Oh, it's Sonic. I gotta crush that guy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait, a hammer!
Mm-hmm. I'm loving this, like... I'm watching the footage right now, and I love how whenever you hit him, his eyes bulge out of his, like, sunglasses. The last bit of this first, like, boss fight is it was kind of scary to me as a kid, because he suddenly starts, like, he starts using the hammer as, like, a platform and starts moving a lot faster. So it's like, movement pattern has changed. Everything feels a little more dangerous, but you get that hit in, he's done so. You also fight on a bridge. That's nice.
Yeah.
Moving on to, stage 2. Secret Base. It's like a big, like, industrial factory, and there's, like, a lot of, like, movement gimmicks with, like, ropes and hooks. You can, like, fucking swing on meat hooks. There's, like, little, like, zip lines and stuff. It's cool to look at. It feels very rusty, which is an interesting look, I think.
Yeah.
It's a very different look for Sonic.
It feels like being at this place is just one tetanus shot away.
True.
So...
Robotnik ensures that everyone who works here will need a tetanus shot, but he does not give them health insurance.
Oh, absolutely not. Our next sort of boss here is him in, like, a spring. Not much to say about that. I think we can breeze through these pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We've got Casino Paradise. Night Zone. You've seen the casino zones in classic Sonic games. This is it, but with better graphics. I remember the boss for this one giving me trouble as a kid. I played this game as a kid, but specifically I played it on a fucking emulator with a keyboard. So everything's... I think my perception of the game is a little off. A lot of
the, like, Game Boy or DS era games are so specifically tied to that system that emulating them is a little bit of a nightmare sometimes.
I did try replaying this recently on my 3DS. Which is surprisingly easy to do, and it's very challenging. It's way more challenging when you're playing on a tiny screen. You're suddenly very aware of, like, how easy it is to fucking run into a trap. Something I'll also say about how these put a spin on classic Sonic gameplay is there's much more going fast in these compared to the Genesis titles. Like, in the Genesis titles, you're suddenly gonna be, like, stopped by, oh, you need to do some actual platforming right now, so, you better have memorized the stage if you want to go fast. After that, we've got another classic, Ice Mountain. It's an ice zone. The boss, also very stressful and weirdly difficult. You're in a big pool of water, and Dr. Robotnik is climbing on like the cavern, or the sort of like ceiling of a cavern, and like sending down stalactites. So you have to like jump on the stalactites to both jump up and get some air, and both to like get a hit in on him. Very stressful for me as a kid.
I feel like the you're losing oxygen noise mid boss fight would set me on edge.
Our next stage, this one I think is pretty neat. It's Angel Island. Angel Island Zone, but it's like a sort of the sort of like obstacles and stuff you face in this, as well as the aesthetics. It feels like a real like mishmash of all these different like Sonic 3 and Knuckles stage gimmicks. You've got the pyramid stuff with quicksand. You've got rubble. You've got You've got, like... Oh, here's something. Because this is in the era of Sonic Adventure 2, in this game, you can grind on rails. There isn't that much in this one. There's way more of it in the later ones. But there's rail grinding in this one.
They want you to know Sonic is someone who would love to rail grind.
Mm-hmm. He loves soap shoes. And, like, rail grinding is just gonna be a thing for, like, the rest of Sonic.
So much so he might even get like a cool hoverboard.
Mm-hmm. The boss is it's Metal Knuckles. Like at first it like appears like this weird off-colored Knuckles who, you know, fights like a very simplified version of Knuckles. But then after like a couple hits in, he starts, like, exploding, and you see, like, his, like...
Yeah, I was like, wait, this isn't Knuckles. I was surprised.
Yeah, I was watching this while walking home from work, and the audible, no, why is he on fire?
It's so good.
Wait.
I was fully just like, Sonic, what the fuck did you do to him?
It's okay, he's a robot.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God, he's just a robot.
Yeah. Fucking, I'm watching, like, him exploding in robot form, and you see, like, his head pop off.
Yeah, it's like, Sonic, why are you killing Knuckles? But then he was a robot, so I stopped caring about Sonic killing him.
Yeah. Our next stage is Egg Rocket Zone. It's set at sunset, which is pretty neat. It's, you know, it's an Eggman base. There's a cool thing, I think, I'm not sure if it's in Act 1 or if it's only in Act 2, but, like, every so often, you're sort of, like, there's a lot of emphasis on, like, verticality, you're constantly moving up, and every so often when you move up, like, the rest of the level, like, detaches, and you're suddenly at a new bottom as you're, like, further and further up in the sky. That I think that's pretty cool. There isn't just checking to see if there's anything else to say about this. Oh yeah, eventually you're like going into space, which it's pretty sick. And it starts like incorporating stuff from like the Death Egg Zone from Sonic 3. After that, you get, like, the final proper stage, which is Cosmic Angel. Cosmic Angel, you're in space. There's more Death Egg stuff. There's like all these like, you're in like the background for this is great. You're in like some sort of like weird purple dome.
Yeah, it feels like it's a control room, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. The boss for this is like, it's Eggman on like a weird like sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a chain of balls, and you've got to like try to like not get hit by him. He switches between like a upside down, spikes up, and right side up, and you got to make sure you hit him when he's facing the right way. It's a neat gimmick. And then we get sort of our regular final stage, which is the X Zone. What's neat about the X Zone is, one, you're orbiting Earth, and two, the first couple bosses are like rehashes of classic Sonic 1 and 2 bosses.
Yeah, Eggman says, this didn't get you last time, but maybe this time.
Maybe this
time.
Maybe the problem was that it was on Earth and not in space.
Yeah. Then you've got like this he's got like this weird grabber arm guy that's sort of like the original final boss of Sonic 3. But it's also kind of incorporating like Death Egg robot stuff. But if you get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you get to move on to the true final stage, the Moon Zone. You're on the goddamn moon.
I love calling it the Moon Zone.
Mm-hmm. It's
Welcome
so
to
good.
The moon zone.
What zone is he in? Moon.
Yeah.
Oh, the moon?
Oh, the moon.
The moon is just a good place to set things.
True.
Right? It's kind of like the DBZ abandoned archipelago of the Sonic universe. You can just blow up as much as you want there.
Mm-hmm.
No one's around.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a sort of simplified version of the Doomsday thing from Sonic 3. You're like constantly moving, you're just constantly chasing Eggman as he's in like his mech. And you gotta like pop open these like little pods to get rings so you can keep going. And you gotta dash into him and just hit him a couple times. But you beat the stage. You get a little like victory screen of like all of Sonic's friends looking up at the moon wondering if he's okay. And then we get a card that says a few days later, as we see Tails like on Sonic's plane just searching for Sonic. I love the notion that he's just gone for a couple days.
He's gone for a couple days, and Tails has been flying continuously, looking back and forth.
Yeah. you get a little like a little set of like of sprite art meant to like evoke the end of Sonic 2, where he finds like Sonic is still super and he's still fucking playing around. And it says congratulations and you roll credits.
Congratulations, you won.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You definitely killed Eggman for real this time.
Yeah. One last thing I want to mention, because we got and asked for it. I'll read it off now. From Symbolic Godzilla. Is the Tiny Chow Garden cool? The Game Link feature letting you move Chow from Adventure 2 to Advance seems fun to me. So, let's talk a little bit about the Tiny Chow Garden. It was like a little bonus mode. I think it's in all of the GBA Sonic games. You get you get to like raise like a little Chow in this sort of like very simplified version of the Chow Garden where it's just like a little pet simulator. You feed them, you watch them grow, and every so often they'll like say something to you. They'll like they'll ask you something. They'll like say something weird like let me try to look up some of these things. Okay, I can't find like a list of the lines, but they're all like weird little kid things that really weird kids would say. Like socioeconomics, what's that? It sounds tasty.
I'm always saying that as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Who was talking to the Chows about socioeconomics?
Yeah, it was probably...
Do I?
No, I don't know.
Tell me, which of the main Sonic gang would be talking to them about socioeconomics? Is it Amy?
Let me see. Honestly, maybe. Who? Okay, I'm finding some of these lines now. I'm finding some stuff now. I've pulled up a Tumblr post to see screenshots people, made. Some lines, here. Maybe I should conquer the world. Sometimes I wonder if my career is going anywhere. Why are vitamins so important?
That's true. I am asking that actually.
It's just.
I'm always
just
asking. Just
really weird kid things that really weird kids would say to you. Fireworks are so cool. How do they work?
Magnets. How do they work?
Fireworks. How do they work?
Maybe I'll check GameFAQs. They probably have this. I remember looking up a whole list of these when I was a kid. But to continue on, one very notable thing about the Tiny Chow Garden is that the Tiny Chow Garden lets you transfer Chow like across various games. Mainly, you could like transfer them from like Sonic Adventure 2 to Sonic Adventure DX, or to like other people's like save files for the Sonic Adventure games. And there was also a very specific one where you could there was like an Easter egg. I think I mentioned this before. There was an Easter egg in the GameCube version of Phantasy Star Online where you could download, if you did like this certain like thing in like a very specific side quest, you could download a Tails Chow. Yeah, there's, it's really cute. There's like little mini games you can do. There's like a rock, paper, scissors thing.
I'm looking at the Tails Chow and he is adorable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's, dang, I was hoping this guide would include, like a list of the lines, but I guess that's for another day, I suppose. Maybe I'll look it up between this and like Sonic Advance 2, which we're doing next week. But yeah, it's a cute little feature. I like it. Aside from that, let's read some more questions that got sent in. Let me see. Kitty the Cat mentions that, isn't it nice to have Amy as a playable character? Yeah. It's nice she's in here and she gets like a unique moveset. That's cool.
I do enjoy when Amy gets literally anything.
Yeah.
I think there is like a specific speedrun category for her because she functions differently.
It's called the Amy gets to do literally anything speedrun category.
Did anyone grow up seeing sprite comics or flash games that used sprites or sprite edits from the series? So yeah, like I mentioned, these Sonic sprites got like a lot of use. And of course, because we're at a very specific point in time where where it's possible to do, people are uploading the sprite sheets onto mainly Spriter's Resource, and people are using them to make sprite comics. And furthermore, some people are like taking those sprites, they're editing them to turn them into their Sonic OC, and uploading to them to like DeviantArt or Newgrounds or what have you.
And that's what the internet is all about.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, like sprite editing, editing sprites to make your OCs was like a sort of a cornerstone of OC culture in the 2000s. I for one am all for it. Maybe I'll fucking do one of those someday or something. Because like these were across many games, they had like a whole variety of sprites, and you could use them, and like more games would add like more variants on these sprites. You could get a lot of mileage out of them. James the Cat Girl notes that they got arguably much more usage than any from the Genesis games. It's kind of neat. I like that.
Yeah, they seem like very simple yet very expressive sprites that I feel like people could easily latch onto.
Yeah. Kitty the Cat sends in another question more recently. If Keanu Reeves couldn't be this... Actually, I think we talked about this, but I'll read again anyways. If Keanu Reeves couldn't be the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog for the Sonic 3 movie, who would you want to take up that mantle? I think
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, we discussed this. It was Robert Pattinson or Hayden Christensen because...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those
either one.
Yeah, they were both very of the era of Shadow.
Robert Pattinson would be great because he would do a voice.
Yeah!
He would do a voice and everyone would be like, you don't need to do a voice, your voice is fine, but he would do a voice. Mm-hmm. And Hayden Christensen, because I want Shadow to be Anakin. Mm-hmm. Which may seem selfish, but I think it would be really funny.
Yeah, I'm now gonna look up, what has he been up to more recently? I guess
he keeps appearing in like Star Wars roles.
Mm-hmm.
As young Anakin when they want to do flashbacks because he's having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I think he's just living off the Star Wars money.
Yeah, there isn't much outside of that.
Which, I mean, good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing like other roles, but nothing super big, it looks like. There's stuff with like good ratings, but nothing big.
Yeah, I think he's just coasting, which once again, good for him.
Mm-hmm. Good on him.
But you know what could be a huge boon is playing Shadow the Hedgehog.
It would be a huge boon. Sidmon speculates, considering the return of Lawrence Fishburne to the John Wick movies, will Carrie Moss voice Rouge?
Carrie Moss will voice Maria.
Ooh. Yeah, I've never seen John
Carrie
Wick
Moss
movies.
will be in a blonde wig and a blue dress and playing a 12-year-old girl.
Have you guys seen the John Wick movies?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen them. I've seen most of them, or parts of them. I've seen 2 and I've seen 3. I can't recall if I've seen 1 all the way through or not.
Maybe I should before I watch Sonic 3 movie.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun movies.
Yeah, I know. I've heard they're pretty good.
Action conspiracy.
Yeah.
Watch
some cool
Keanu Reeves do cool stuff and get the shit beaten out of him for like an entire movie, but just keep going.
Yeah.
True.
And James the Cat Girl also sent in a question about voice actors. Which celebrity would you want voicing Amy?
This is difficult.
I don't really have like a firm like idea.
I don't either. The first thing I thought of, because it would be fucking funny if this is why they started working together again after this many years, is if we had Pat Roberts as
and we had
Kristen Stewart as Amy.
Kristen Stewart.
No,
that would be so mean to Kristen Stewart, who is doing her damnedest to show everyone that she is extremely gay to play Amy.
I know, that would be so fucking sad, dude.
I
just thought it would be funny. No, I don't.
Kristen Bell.
Oh, is she doing? What is she doing now?
She's Eleanor from The Good Place, and I think it would be funny if Eleanor from The Good Place was Amy.
Honestly, that would fit really well for
Amy.
I know.
Especially, like, Boom Amy, it definitely feels like she could, like, she's kind of adjacent to that sort of character. That would work really well. I feel like
Boom Amy also had more stuff to do, so I feel like that's a pretty solid... Oop, sorry, I'm just knocking shit over. That's a pretty solid, character, archetype for her.
For whatever reason, the first name that popped into my head was Kristen Shaw.
We're just going a lot with Kristens, that's why.
A lot of Kristens.
I don't know what she does. I'm so bad at actors and stuff.
She's she does like, she started out on like Flight of the Conchords and then played Mabel in Gravity Falls, and from there mostly pivoted into voice acting, I think.
But they would have...
Oh, she was in What We Do in the Shadows as well. She was,
But they really like casting, like... Well, okay, I guess if she was, like, in What We Do in the Shadows, then she was, like, an on-screen actor.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say they like to cast, like, non-voice actors as voice actors now, so...
Yeah. I'm looking up her roles now. It's mostly animation, but, she does, like, a couple live action comedy things here and there. I probably wouldn't get her, but, it is funny to think about. It's just the first thing that really came to mind.
Yeah, I think, honestly, both of your answers are pretty good. I don't have one.
Yeah. Just find another Kristen.
Yeah.
No.
From here, I think that's all the questions we have.
Yeah.
We're an hour in. I knew this would be a bit of a shorter one just because we're talking about a very small scale game.
I think
but we got an hour of this recording.
Yeah. I think we can move to the close. So, I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places. You can find all those places at biggerchallenge.card.co. That includes Pod of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast, where continuing to make our way through Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I'm very excited because between you, me, and the listeners of this podcast, we're about to start Crash Town soon, which is an arc where they like leave the city to go to like a fucking Wild West town. It's absolutely
weird,
nuts.
Fucked up Wild West town.
But you can listen to that. You can listen to Video Games the Movie, the podcast, the Video Game Movie Review podcast I do with my friend Maxie. Our next movie we're going to cover is Pokemon 3, It's the one with Entei and Unknowns.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, weirdly hot Entei, yeah.
Yeah, Hot Dad Entei.
Dilf Entei.
Who kidnaps Ash's mom, yeah.
Yeah. You can listen to, well, actually, that's all the active stuff. You can check out my Small Saga Let's Play that's on YouTube, under the YouTube channel Big Challenges. That's been going pretty consistently. Might have a little bit of a slowdown because there's a special like bonus thing I want to work on that's going to be a little more. It's going to involve a little more stuff in it than just recording myself in like OBS with Patrick and Emery. From there, Tumblr Bigger Challenge, co-host Big Challenges. That's it for me. Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morg on Tumblr and Blue Sky. You can find me at Gengar on co-host. You can also find me on my other podcast, Check Out This Guy, podcast where we talk about OCs and sometimes make them. And we recorded kind of a banger one when I was visiting Emery, so I hope that one comes out soon. I know it's gonna be a bit.
Yeah.
But
lately it seems you tend to like, I know that like multiple people handle the editing, so like the upload order, sometimes it can be very sporadic depending on who finishes when.
Yeah, it's mostly Emery and Quadra who edit, and if they're both finish and edit on the same day, sometimes we do 2 at a time. This is what part of the reason we don't have a Patreon, because we just like have a weird schedule. I think the most recent episode is actually a guest episode.
Yeah.
So
I started listening to it earlier today.
Yeah. I think maybe our first return guest, maybe?
Mm.
No, we've had James twice. I forgot about that. Never mind.
Yeah. It's Izzy. A different Izzy. IZZE.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're part of Moonshot.
Are they?
They do stuff with the Moonshot Network. I've been with them a couple times for the charity streams Moonshot does in May.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait, I think the SCP one isn't Moonshot. But okay. Doesn't matter.
That's a different Izzy, I think.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Oh. I'm really getting lost in all of this.
It's okay.
Never mind.
Sorry. Yeah, no, we're good.
Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for me. Devon, if you would like to go.
You can find me on a podcast called We Were Queerbait, where we're rating all the queerbait in a completely working and functional system. That's about it. That's all I'm on. Honestly,
yeah.
If you didn't, that's all it's about.
Mm-hmm. And you can find us on co-host, the Sonic Shuffle, Tumblr, or actually they're all the Sonic Hustle. I think I changed them all to the Sonic Hustle. I think the Twitter might still be the Sonic Shuffle, but I don't really touch the Twitter. But more importantly, if you like, check out the episode description, or if you check out the episode description, you can find us on our Discord, which is the best way you can contact us for a question. There isn't too much discussion. It's just a very handy way for us to organize the podcast and for you to send in a question. And you can find us on Noisepace.xyz. Noisepace.xyz is a podcast network, run by noted Canadian Matt GameCube. There's a lot of great shows on there. I'm just gonna list off some ones that have updated recently. We've got Sounds About Light, which is about Kingdom Hearts. They've they're well underway of covering Kingdom Hearts 3. We've got Prime Cuts.
Yeah, they're in one of the funniest games.
They're in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I think they're recording now. I think they're recording. I mean, not that it matters when this fucking episode comes out, but I think I saw that they were. And I'm like,
yeah, I'm looking at the Discord they record in right now, and they are recording right now.
Talking about
at the same time
game.
as us. Yeah, you can learn all about that on their podcast. You can check out Prime Cuts. That's a Transformers Media podcast. They cover different they cover a season of various different shows, sort of exploring the wide world of Transformers Media. I want to recommend, they had a very fun April Fool's episode where they covered Mithrigan. It was called Yumi and Her Makes Mithrigan. It's a fun thing. Looks like they covered 8 different shows. One season of 8 different shows each.
Yumi and Mithrigan.
You can listen to Diet Coke and Lilith's House of Snacks. They review snacks. That's fun. Sometimes it's a little more fast foody. Sometimes it's a little more gas station-y. I should listen to that show sometime. I see them going.
Yeah, I listened to the first episode. I like it, but I know it's changed quite a bit. Because their most recent episodes has in parentheses the blood play episode, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But I think that might be their guest. But I'm still very what the fuck?
They have some very interesting titles, episode 135 Fat Pony Mode on analbuttsex.com.
I'm like, wow, very
Middlebrow
appealing.
Madness.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
But I want to eat
and
now?
Middlebrow Madness. It's I think it's a movie podcast. I honestly have completely lost track. Or maybe it's a bracket thing. Anyways. You can go check out those podcasts. They're all pretty good. So until next time, Sonic the Hedgehog is real, he's strong, and he is my friend.
He is the only blue eye that matters.
The only one.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.